gentlemen, my name is
Howard J. Dingers. And this is 3 Count Review.
welcome to Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw edition.
Other than that, I love it too. It's great.
great.
And then I have a separate one for SmackDown too. Pretty cool. Cal, who was on last week, will also be joining us eventually here. Oh, look at that! He's walking in right on cue.
She didn't answer.
He had a interview. Oh, he's going in there. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've never used the fishbowl mic, but I can figure this out. I think.
Yeah, we can just share a mic.
I mean, yeah, you could just sit out here and share that one. Okay. Yeah. So, did you guys get to watch?
Yeah, I watched about a couple of hours of it last night. I was kind of flipping back and forth between that and the football game, due to fantasy purposes, but
That's fair. Cal, did you get to watch?
Same with Tyler. I was trying to do homework, watch the football game, and watch Raw. By the way, if she calls, I'm just going to take off quick, and then I'll come back in. All right, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fine. Yeah, I think I watched an hour and a half of it, but then this morning I watched the parts that I didn't get to see. So I know what happens. But overall, I have to say, pretty good episode of Raw. Like, up there, especially compared to the quality of shows from recent weeks.
there was one certain point that kind of broke the show apart, but we'll get
We'll get into that. I take that as a positive,
absolutely.
but we'll get into it.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. So let's just dive right in. The first segment was Dean Ambrose doing an in-ring interview with Charlie Caruso, which, I don't know. For funsies, I would have had Renee do it. But yeah, that's whatever. That's just me. Charlie asked Ambrose if there was any truth to what they were saying last week about Ambrose, about how, the rest of the Shield, Rollins and Reigns, were just using him, and how he's better on his own. Like, he was a champion over on SmackDown by himself, and now he's over here. They have championships, and Ambrose doesn't. So she was asking him if there's any truth to all that. And Ambrose basically said, yeah, like, there's a lot of truth to it. I was champion by myself. I ran SmackDown for a long time, and then I came over here. I got hurt, and Seth replaced me immediately with Jason Jordan, and I love that they're bringing that up. And yeah, he basically said that he's waiting for an opportunity to slip the knife in the back of the Shield. Like, he basically said that he's going to turn heel eventually. I thought this was a really good segment. I don't know, what did you guys think of it?
I mean, yeah, absolutely, pretty much everything you said. I think a bad side turn here is imminent. I mean, it's kind of been a long time coming.
Right. Yeah.
We've been waiting for this for a while. Ambrose is due for a heel run. There's really nothing else you could say more about it.
Yeah, I like how it just had a lot of realism to it. I mean, it just makes sense, and I'm glad Ambrose addressed it, because then, I mean, moving storyline forward, you could be like, okay, he's addressed it, and, like, you think everything felt good, but as Tyler and you pointed out, heel turn's coming, which is long overdue.
Yeah.
Do you think they're teasing the heel turn too much, and they might not turn Ambrose heel? It might be another member.
See, yeah, that's the thing. That's a good question, actually, because usually when they do not mention these things, it's more obvious.
Yes.
But now that they have mentioned it, it might be less obvious, and they might pull something else.
It's very unlike WWE to tease a heel turn so hard.
To foreshadow a heel turn.
Yeah.
They never do that.
It's like
It's
they
really
plant seeds like they kind of did with like Rusev and Aiden English, which, by the way, I can't wait for that storyline tonight. But we'll talk about that. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. But anyway,
Why Milwaukee? But go ahead.
right.
Why
I'm so interested. But they plant seeds and they tell a story, but they never straight up like say that they're going to turn heel like that. So part of me is scared because I don't want them to turn Seth again. I don't think they will.
I don't think they're going to turn Seth again.
I wouldn't mind them turning Roman.
They're not going to turn Roman.
They're not going to turn
They're
Roman.
not going
But
to ever.
just imagine as a swerve, instead of turning Deal, they have Roman do it. I would be fully behind that. I'm always behind
Roman's
a
the
heel
face of the
Roman.
company. They're not going to turn him heel.
You're right.
Roman would be just like, I mean, I've kind of been just thinking about that. I don't think they'll turn Seth just because he's just so white hot right now.
Right.
And I mean, Dean's the most logical one. But I mean, if they did flip Roman, let's just pretend. I mean, it gives one thing like, oh, like the heel turn's gonna cause a huge pop from the crowd, and then like Roman's gonna start getting cheered, which would be a problem. But if he breaks up the Shield, it's gonna get instant heat, and that would make him a full blown heel. But as Tyler said, he is the face of the company, so it probably won't happen.
He officially is now, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of ways they could go with this, but I hope and I think that they're actually just going to go through with the Ambrose heel turn. I think they're just doing it right this time. I don't know. It's interesting. Corbin comes out, and I like Baron Corbin as GM. You don't like him? We've talked about this.
Yeah,
I enjoy him. I don't know. He's goofy.
He's got off on the mic.
That's true too. I think it kind of works. I don't know. Yeah. So Corbin comes out and what is it? I don't know what this is trying to say. Corbin says that he's fine, or that he's done hearing about Ambrose whining and all that, and Ambrose says Corbin is salty because Corbin can't control the Shield and all that stuff. So then Corbin says, okay, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 3 options for a match tonight. So you have to pick between one of these 3 matches. You either get an IC Championship match against Seth Rollins, a Universal Championship match against Roman Reigns, or a straight-up one-on-one singles match with Braun Strowman. And then Dean was like, secret answer number 4, I want a match with you. I was like, okay, that's weird. And then Corbin was like, no, okay, fine, I'm going to choose for you singles match with Strowman. And then Strowman comes out like on cue. Strowman was ready. And then they had a singles match. I like this for storyline purposes, but it kind of, I don't know. If I was Dean, you pick the Universal Championship match, right? Like, even if it's against Roman, it's still the top title. It's the most valued prize on Monday Night Raw.
I think that's their way of saying that this isn't Ambrose's turn yet.
Yeah, but I will say that it ties in very neatly into the
does.
storyline lately. So I'll say it. Yeah,
They're not going to go full blown like Ambrose like against his brothers right now.
not yet.
They're just waiting for it.
Right. Yeah. Then Strowman comes out. They have a singles match. This match was basically just Strowman beating up on Ambrose. Ambrose got some offense in. Like, he hit a surprise Dirty Deeds, which I actually bought as a near fall. Like, I don't know. For a second, I was like, holy crap, they're going to have Strowman take a pinfall. But then I realized that he's facing off against Lesnar and Roman in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, it was really just Strowman destroying Ambrose. Ambrose just kept running into moves. Because it wasn't like just like ragdoll beat up. It was like he kept getting up and he kept running into different moves. He kept trying. So it still made Ambrose look good, I guess, because he was still getting offense in and he was still getting up from all these moves. These moves weren't putting him down. And then all of a sudden, this is where I have a slight problem with this. It makes a little bit of sense, but I still don't like it. Roman Reigns comes out just in the middle of the match. It's not like Strowman wasn't going too far. He wasn't beating him up. It was still within the confines of the match. No one was cheating. But Reigns comes out and just starts attacking Braun Strowman. He hits him with a Superman punch, and then they start fighting. And then Seth comes out and starts beating up Strowman. Like, they just double team Strowman.
Yeah, the reason being for that, I think, is because Ambrose was already done. So Roman was just like, screw it, I'll come out and just try and help him out anyway.
Right.
The end was near in the match, I think.
What upsets me is that they're the faces beating up a heel in that scenario.
Yeah, but they're still getting cheered.
It's such bad booking, though. I don't know. What did you guys think of this match? And the ending.
I mean, the ending can make sense that it plants the seeds of Roman. Just, hey, I'm here to help you out.
Right.
But then it also could be tied in that they could use this as a pawn later on, like, oh, Dean, you can't win on your own,
Right.
and maybe use that as the heel turn. But I mean, it makes Strowman look good. I mean, I know Strowman's kind of just in need of a win. It seems
Yes.
like just like I want him to like win like a major title soon. But I mean, like it's pretty much like your typical WWE finish where they try to protect everyone.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
They do try to say later that Rollins says to Ambrose that they wanted him healthy for this weekend, and that's why they went out for the save.
Oh, okay.
So, like, again, I get that, but still, it's a wrestling match. Nothing was really, I don't know. Yeah, we'll get some more of that because this story, again, they do this. They've been doing this past couple of weeks where they're telling this story throughout the show, and it's really nice. I don't know why this isn't loading. Here we go. Okay. Nope, it's still on the same thing.
I will say though,
Yeah, go.
I like Braun Strowman more on his own.
I really like Braun Strowman on this one.
I just don't. I mean, I get why he's aligning with Ziggler and McIntyre. It's mainly to get the title back because that's what he wants. But he's kind of doing it out of desperation. I mean, that's how the storyline's going. I just like him more on his own. I think that's just how his character is more. I think he just does a better job with it. But I mean, I see why they're rolling with it.
I mean, realistically, they're doing this so that they can have a 6-man tag this
Yeah.
weekend at Super Showdown.
Yeah.
But I get it in storyline too. Like, I guess Strowman's because now he's heel, so now they need to give him a numbers advantage.
Yeah.
Which I don't think they actually do need to give him.
He also got beat down by the Shield.
Right. So now he's
It's kind of a desperation move to get two guys
Right.
on his side to just try and take them down.
I personally would wish that they get the IC championship and the tag team belts out of this feud. If they're going to keep this feud going for a while.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, I mean, but you really don't have anybody else on Raw right now that can carry those titles, really.
Revival.
Yeah.
Not after today.
I
We'll
don't
get into
know.
that too, but I don't know. An IC belt, there's a lot of people that could hold that belt. I think there's a lot of people on Raw that could.
Yeah, Raw's the biggest name now.
True.
It's one of the biggest.
So after that match, Corbin comes back out and announces Roman versus Ziggler, which is happening next, and Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for later in the night. So everyone's in singles matches. I kind of figured that was going to happen because Super Showdown is this weekend.
Yeah, pretty
Oh God, this is technically a go-home show.
yeah, it is.
Okay, that lowers my rating a little bit.
It's a pretty obvious move.
Yeah. Before the match between Reigns and Ziggler, the ref Roman tries to make it a Universal Championship match.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Roman was like, "Hey, ref, this is for the title," and the ref holds it up. He's like, "You had a Universal Championship match."
Really?
But then Corbin comes out,
Of course.
and Corbin says, "No. You don't get to make the rules around here. I make the matches. I make the title matches. Plus, you have to defend your title at Crown Jewel. So you can't defend that title until Crown Jewel."
What a Debbie Downer.
I kind of like this because it makes Roman the fighting champion that I've been talking about, that everyone's been talking about.
Yeah.
When Roman beat Brock, the whole thing was, okay, I'm going to defend it every week. So I like that. And then Corbin being the guy. Now there's storyline reason that Roman can't defend it up until Crown Jewel. I kind of like it.
I mean, it makes sense, but
Yeah.
I just like seeing title defenses.
Oh yeah, me too. Absolutely.
Everyone likes seeing title defenses.
Absolutely. And yeah, you got something?
What I like about it too is that it just makes sense too, because I mean, how many times, like, especially when like John Cena had like the U.S. Open Challenge, which was nice, obviously, but like I would always be like, okay, he's defending it on a pay-per-view. It's been announced that he's defending it against Rusev. Like, there's no way that they're gonna be like, all right, Cesaro's gonna get the belt and win here. Like,
Right.
It kind of takes away from like the chances of the opposing wrestler winning. So I kind of like how Corbin came out and was like, no, let's not do it.
But to counter that, I will say that this gave Cena's open challenges. He had so many of them, and what they did is that not only did they give like superstars who weren't really on TV much
Zack
good
Ryder.
time, Zack Ryder, hell, even Stardust got an opportunity.
Oh, that's
and
right.
Ziggler at the time, and Ambrose,
Mhm.
and
Right.
I think
yeah.
Neville.
Can't forget
Kevin Owens.
Kane, KO, Neville. I think it gave all these
That was
guys,
Kevin Owens' debut.
Yeah, it gave all these guys extra TV time, and Cena elevated them.
Oh, absolutely. But like, I do agree with him though. Like, future booking of matches like this far in advance
Right.
ruins storytelling.
Right.
Like 100%. I don't know. That's a whole nother topic that we can get into. But yeah, so that's what happened before this match. So then when Corbin was still on the ramp, he said, "All right, ref, ring the bell." And Roman was still looking back at him like, "Oh, what the heck?" And then Ziggler like blindsided him, attacked him. This match was really good too. A lot of near falls that I bought into more because it wasn't a title match.
Mhm.
Because at a couple points in my mind, like he hit a zigzag at one point on
Yeah.
Roman, and I was literally like, "Oh my god, they're gonna have him pin Roman. Like this is perfect because it's not for the title." And then you can tell the story where he should be the champion, and that like Ziggler could actually have a gripe for it and all that stuff. But no, of course he's just kicked out.
Nah.
But like I said, a lot of good near falls, a lot of good moves, reversals, good match. Roman can have a good match when it's with another good superstar. Roman, I still don't think Roman can carry a match himself.
He's a solid competitor, but he needs another.
He needs help, exactly, yeah.
He needs help.
Which is why his Undertaker match was not that great.
Yeah, he's not a Cena or a Rock or Stone Cold
Right.
or Shawn Michaels.
Absolutely. So the match ended with a surprise spear, which God, I love Dolph Ziggler selling. The spear looked so good.
It did look really good.
I love Ziggler's selling of every move so much. He made the spear look really devastating, and Roman won pretty clean. 1, 2, 3, and that, again, while I was complaining about it, plays into the storyline more later in the night. Really interesting stuff. So that's 2 matches right off the gate. That was really good. And then we just go right into another match. This was a pretty match-heavy night, disregarding the main event. But so then we had, well, I guess, actually, before we move on, I forgot. What did you guys think of Ziggler and Roman?
Yeah, pretty much what you said. It was very. Actually, my cable was out half the time. The storm campus cable was out, but I caught the end of it, and it was pretty good. I caught like around the zigzag part, and yeah, it was good. I mean, it's a pretty logical ending. We all kind of knew Roman's gonna win. They're gonna protect him in that manner. So.
And Ziggler is just a solid worker too.
Mhm.
Like he could literally have a good match with the broom. So I mean,
Yes.
nothing really like extraordinary came out of this, but I mean, solid match, and I like how it was a lot of just focusing on wrestling. I like it when they just either focus on wrestling or like have like 20 in-ring segments. Like I get sick and tired of like having like Authority come out,
Yes.
set up matches, and then so I like it when it's match heavy and action heavy.
Mm-hmm. I like it a lot. So yes, so the next match we had was Ronda Rousey with the Bellatton twins in her corner versus Ruby Riott with the rest of the Riott squad. Liv Morgan got kicked so hard last week that her hair turned purple or pink. This was I hate to say this, but this was a basic Ronda Rousey match, and I don't like that that's becoming a thing.
Yeah, I think it's because they're still trying to book Ronda Rousey as like this dominant force to be reckoned with. So I think that's why they're keeping it short. And the longer she's in there, I think they're going to extend her matches more.
I hope so
I
too.
hope they do.
Here's my only gripe with this though: the last couple times she's had singles matches, she's taken most of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's the one getting beaten up.
Yep.
And then she just wins out of
rally.
nowhere.
Yeah,
she has a short comeback and then a submission with the armbar.
Right.
I don't like that. Like I guess against someone like Ruby Riott, you want to give her a little bit of credibility. Mm-hmm. But I would have had her face. I mean, Liv Morgan probably wasn't healthy enough to wrestle last night, but like have her wrestle Sarah Logan or someone else. I guess they have to have her wrestle Sarah Logan and just have her dominate Sarah Logan. Yeah. And then maybe like a few, like the Riott Squad get involved, so then Logan gets a headbutt in or two. But I don't like people dominating Ronda for most of the match and then Ronda just winning out of nowhere.
But it's just still like it's just how they're gonna continue working her for a while now as just a dominant force to be reckoned with.
Right, like she's gonna keep winning.
She's gonna keep winning for a long time.
I just hope we get, her versus someone in a squash match.
She'll have better matches.
I want to see her versus Dana Brooke. Have Dana Brooke just get squashed.
That'd be pretty funny.
That would be because Dana's a really good seller too, so that match would be really good. I don't know. What do you guys think about? I mean, Ronda, you already kind of touched on it. So, What do you think just about this match specifically, but Ronda going forward?
Well, they're in a tough situation because obviously you don't want to lose the star appeal on Ronda.
Right.
It's like one of like the few major stars that you have, and so like you have to be smart of okay, we have to have her be like wrestling where she's not like a Lesnar where she just doesn't show up. But then you also have to do the fine line of how many matches do we have her in before it starts becoming just like the normal. So just right now, I mean, they've done so far everything that has worked so far that they've done with Ronda's worked. So I mean, like, I say just keep doing what they're doing because I mean, like, there have been moments where I've questioned it, and Ronda's just has had leaps and bounds. So I mean, I say just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I also want to add that Ronda sells stuff really well.
She does.
She does a great job with that. I actually loves it when she gets beat down because she does a great job at
That's true.
selling stuff.
That is one of her strengths, so I'm okay with that too.
Her in-ring skills, they are improving. I'm starting to see improvements gradually
Absolutely.
every week.
Which will happen over time.
Yeah, she innovated another move I think this week. I think it was. I forgot what it was like, but it was something different that I haven't seen from her. But yeah, it was nice to see that. So yeah,
that's good.
Ronda will get better and her matches will become longer.
After that, we had another match. Awesome. With it's weird to see so many matches on Monday Night Raw. This segment, I don't know how I feel about this. Bobby Roode with Chad Gable versus Connor with Victor of the Ascension. Last week it was Chad versus Connor, and Connor won clean, like straight up clean, no interference anywhere, which I have so many problems with. This week, Connor beat Bobby Roode with a distraction from Chad Gable. So that is better. I still don't like Connor winning a singles match because now, for anyone keeping track of their history, Connor, in 2 singles matches on the main roster, is now 2-0 in his career.
Wow. Good for Connor.
So, good for him. Not great for Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. But, so what I do like about this story is that they've kind of told the story that Bobby and Chad can't beat the Ascension singularly.
Yep.
They need to team up and beat them as a team. They've already done that.
Yep.
If you go back 3 weeks ago, they beat them in tag team competition.
Yeah.
So what the heck?
So what's going to happen now? They're going to team up again and then lose the Ascension? I don't know.
So with this story, I think the SmackDown writers were writing it because it's very out of order. SmackDown's been telling stories out of order lately too. But yeah, like I said, like if you just look at it the last 3 weeks, I like the story, but then you remember that we've already had the tag team matches.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also the what's the move that he even hits? The Dominator. His Dominator looked it looks like he can only do it to smaller guys. Like last week he did it to Chad Gable, it looked really good. This week he tried to do it to Bobby Roode and it did not look good.
Yeah, he's not
a singles guy.
He has work to do.
Yeah.
Put it that way.
Even though he's been in the company for a
Connor
while.
has work to do.
Yeah, what do you guys think about this story?
I mean, just what it's going to lead to is Roode turning on Chad Gable eventually. Thank God, right? It's pretty obvious, but I think eventually this Robbie Roode's just going to get irritated with Gable enough that they keep losing, and then Roode's just going to say, "I have enough with you," and then it's going to go downhill from there.
I like how, I don't like how I feel like you could probably use another team, like, that could pick up these wins. Like, Dash and Dawson. You put the Revival out there and like you have them pick up a couple singles matches. That'd be like a couple victories. Because I feel like at that point, like the Revival can still be saved, whereas the Ascension are pretty much dead in the water, and I feel like are just like their time to be pushed has come and gone.
Yes.
And there's really like no chance. I feel like you're just kind of wasting giving wins to what could be to other teams, like even like Authors of Pain or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's tough that it's the Ascension. It just makes sense storyline.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's eventually going to lead to more tag team matches, probably pre-show matches, and the eventual Bobby Roode heel turn, which I'm actually looking forward to that little rivalry feud between Chad Gable and heel Bobby Roode. I think that could be fun.
Yeah, he's way overdue.
And then I think hopefully that leads into a Bobby Roode IC championship reign.
Maybe.
With the NXT Bobby Roode gimmick. I don't know. So yeah, Connor won that match. Next, we had a video package, kind of a moment of bliss. I'm glad this segment returned because Alexa Bliss is just so great. Bliss says that when she was a kid, and we're gonna get into the math about this in a second. But when she was a kid, Trish Stratus demanded $50 for an autograph, and then denied the autograph, ripped up Alexa's autograph book, and made Bliss cry. The moral of the story is never meet your heroes. This was just great. The whole story is a lot longer than that, and she tells it really well. But she did say that she met Trish Stratus when she was 7. If you look back at the math, that was when Alexa Bliss was 7 in 1997 or 98. Trish Stratus didn't debut till 2000.
So you know that this story is just a big load of crap.
Exactly. So I kind of hope that they did that on purpose. But if they didn't, it's not a big detail that people need to actually look into. This was still a good segment.
I think it's just proving that Alexa Bliss just spews a load of crap.
Yeah.
No matter who she's talking to.
And I love it.
I think that's the point. And I love it too.
I also think that they realized, oh crap, we have Evolution coming up and we haven't been building matches. So let's have Alexa do this real quick.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, I really like this, and I hope I'm looking forward to the rest of the build for this, and for this match. This feud's gonna be pretty good, especially if Trish becomes quote unquote regular up until Evolution. I think that should be good. Yeah, we don't have to talk too much about that. The Revival versus the B Team next. Okay, so last week, was it last week? I don't know, last week or 2 weeks ago, the Revival had a tag team title match versus Dolph and Drew. And that apparently impressed Vince backstage because it was a very good match, heel versus heel, great storytelling, and it was a fantastic match. And apparently Vince was very impressed with the Revival. But now this week, the B Team, back to their winning ways, accidentally beat the Revival.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the B Team won this match.
You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. The Revival tried to hit a rocket launcher, but Dallas gets his knees up and then rolls up Wilder for the win.
I'm cringing right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm so upset with this thing. But we are, as an audience, basically told to forget that ever happened because as the B Team are walking up the ramp, they are attacked from behind by the AOP. Not the Authors of Pain, the AOP.
Yeah.
Which they are now called stupidly.
Right?
I hate that kind of stuff. Yeah. But they eventually attack him back into the ring, so they have the B Team back into the ring, and they hit a super glider basically on the B Team. So now they're gonna do a feud with the B Team and the AOP, I guess.
So, what's happened to the Revival?
Back to the end of the line, I guess.
I guess, huh?
Stupid. They're such a good team, and they're not being used correctly at all. The upside to this, Drake Maverick was not in a AOP cosplay this week.
Really?
He was in black pants, black shirt, and a leather jacket.
I take him more seriously in that way.
Exactly.
I cannot take him seriously in a vest.
He looked like a manager this week.
Standing next to two huge behemoths.
Dressed like them.
And Drake Maverick literally looks like a midget next to him.
Exactly.
Like, it's insane.
Yeah. So yeah, what do you guys think about this segment in its entirety?
Well, the storyline is that like the AOP is gonna be like one of the next dominant tag teams, which is smart. I mean, that's pretty obvious, but I do kind of feel bad for the Revival.
Yeah.
It literally could have been done without having the Revival lose. Like they could have literally just had match Revival against the B Team, and then as the B Team's first to come out and Authors of Pain come out and attack them.
Or just have the B Team face Heath Slater and Rhino. Or some other tag team that's on Raw. Like, why did we have to bury the Revival?
I just don't. It's not smart. However, I do kind of like the audio. I mean, booking wise, like B Teams, whatever. But I feel like if I went to a Monday Night Raw and like the B Team came out, I'd be cheering for them so hard. Like that's,
I would probably B Team, go, go, go.
That's such a good chant.
I like it.
Well, I mean, other than
as
that,
much as
like,
some people hate it.
that's all that they are though. Like that's
yeah,
what it is. So, I mean, it's It's just bad booking.
Yeah, I feel very bad for Dash and Dawson because they are, like I've said, just a fantastic tag
You
team.
said Vince was impressed with their title match a couple weeks ago. Maybe he was impressed with Ziggler and McIntyre. Not
That's kind of what I'm thinking. The reports backstage were that he was very impressed with the match, specifically the Revival, because he already kind of knew about Dolphin Drew. I don't know. Maybe
I
he
don't
still
know.
has plans for him. I don't know. Maybe he
knows?
has to bury them to build them back up. The whole Daniel Bryan type of thing. I don't know. Stupid. Backstage, Ziggler tells Strowman and McIntyre that Ambrose is going to turn. He's like basically like, you guys see what he's saying. He's very, you know, he's very adamant of being against his Shield members. Strowman says that they need Ambrose because he is a winner and they don't need any weak links. And then looks at Dolph and walks away. And then Drew looks at Dolph and walks away. And I love this because last week they were teasing Drew to break up with them, and now they're teasing Dolph to break up with them.
Yeah.
This is just fantastic. And I think they didn't mention a couple segments, so we're gonna go back to a couple Shield segments here. But yeah, I like that they're teasing dissension in both teams again. Like this has been great.
It's kind of interesting how both are on the brink of imploding at the same time
Mhm.
when they're scheduled to team against
It's
one another.
really good storytelling.
Yeah.
So throughout the night, there were segments with Ambrose and Rollins and Ambrose and Reigns. The first one was Ambrose and Reigns literally was like, "Hey man, we just came out to help you. Like, we didn't, we thought that you needed help, blah blah blah." And Ambrose was like, "No, I had him. I still could have. I still wanted to try on my own. You guys didn't need to come out there." And at the end of the promo, he says, "If I wasn't such a nice guy, I would be Universal Champion right now," and walked away. And I thought that was awesome because he basically didn't choose earlier in the show.
Yeah,
He wanted to face Strowman or Corbin, but he didn't choose a championship match. Like specifically, he didn't choose any of those matches. He could have chosen a championship match.
Yeah.
I thought that's a really good detail. And then later in the show, or maybe that was before too, but at another point, Rollins goes in to see Ambrose in the medical center, wherever their training room is, and Ambrose is so like visually upset, he throws his ice pack at the wall and it explodes. It's really cool. But then basically the same thing where Rollins was like, "Hey, we wanted you to be healthy for this weekend, so we came to help you." And Ambrose was like, "No, I could have won, blah blah blah. If I wasn't such a nice guy, I could be IC champion right now," and
Wow.
walked away. Yeah.
Wow.
And I thought those two lines, like him saying to Rollins and Reigns that he could be champion right now, it's just perfect because it's still telling and it's really just, you can tell it's like, it is messing with Ambrose's mind.
Yeah.
Like the heel tactics are actually getting to Ambrose. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this all pays
Yeah,
off.
they're putting him in a very interesting spot right now
Mm-hmm.
because you have Shield on one side and you have the other. I don't even know. You have a tag team name?
Dogs of War.
Dogs of War. Yeah. So you have that on. You have that on the other side, and then you literally have Ambrose right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a monkey in the middle type game right now.
Good storytelling, good insults. I
Mhm.
like it, and I mean, it's to I can't think of the word, or it adds to the layers mounting between Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns.
Mhm.
So I like that.
Next, we had Rollins versus McIntyre, which was announced early in the show. This was a fantastic match, as it should have been. Like, these are the two best wrestlers from each team, I think.
Yep.
So this was great. It ended up with Ziggler running to the ring. Rollins turned around to face off with Ziggler, I guess, and then turned around right into a Claymore kick, and McIntyre won. So hopefully that plants seeds for maybe an IC title match eventually.
Yeah.
Because then that could play more into Ziggler, because you couldn't beat Rollins for the IC belt, once he took it back from you, but I could, if he wins it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But whatever. McIntyre won clean, kind of, I guess, with interference. But after the match, a brawl broke out because Roman and Dean came out and and Strowman and Dolph came out. Eventually, Ambrose cleared the ring with a weapon, and he accidentally ran into Strowman. What? Okay. And then the Dogs of War beat down the Shield, which was weird because my report from Bleacher Report on my phone said the Shield stands tall. But then I saw this segment, and the Dogs of War.
They did not stand tall.
No,
Shield
they
did not
beat
stand
them
tall.
up and sent them packing, so that was weird. But good job, Bleacher Report. Yeah,
Right.
overall, great match from these two. And then interesting to have the Dogs of War stand tall before Super Showdown. History kind of tells that the Shield are going to
Shield's
win
gonna
that.
win, yeah.
Apparently, statistics say that stigma is actually false, and that it's more like 50-50 with that kind of stuff. I don't know about that.
I don't think that's wrong.
But I think with more mainstream storylines, I think normally that's how it goes. But we'll see, I guess, on Saturday.
And the result here reflected on what Strowman said to Ziggler earlier. Ziggler was the only guy that lost.
Yep. Strowman won by DQ, and McIntyre won clean.
Roman only stood tall on the Shield. Really, you have two people that's on the Shield right now. Interesting.
Interesting. I love this story so much. I have to give credit to the Raw writers on this because I really do like this whole.
Maybe Paul Heyman was there.
I really think because I think it was about a month or two ago now that he was credited on as a writer for one of the episodes of Raw that Heyman or that Lesnar wasn't on.
Yeah.
So I haven't looked at it lately. I might go look into that. But I kind of hope he is because he's so good, as we saw, back in ECW and back old Monday Night Raw and all that stuff when he was a writer. SmackDown, I think he wrote for.
Yep.
Yeah, I think he definitely had something to say as far as the feud goes. This has just been really good. So now we to basically see what happens on Saturday. Do you think if they're going to turn someone, do you think they do it on Saturday?
Wow, that's a good question. No, I don't think they will. No, I think they're gonna stick with the Shield winning, clean, old-fashioned way, and they're just gonna stick together for however long they plan on having them do.
I think they stick together, but I think they lose. Like, I think something happens, like Reigns accidentally hits Ambrose with a spear or something like that, and like that can just add to the layers. And I think they'll save the heel turn for in the States, just because Australia will probably just be more like a house show. And I mean, like, so I think that they're gonna save it for when they're back in the United States.
Yeah.
Like I could see it literally like on the Raw after, like they show like footage or something.
Well, because we also have to think the next pay-per-view is Evolution, so no male matches, and then after that we have to wait till Survivor Series in November.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a lot of Raw TV time to fill. I think you could tell more of this story, and then eventually maybe in the middle there around the Evolution time, do the heel turn, and then you can build a match or something to Survivor Series. The rumor for this weekend, there is a rumor going around that McIntyre is gonna pin Roman.
Really?
To set up a future Universal Championship feud.
It can go many different ways.
Well,
That's
yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm interested. Also, the rumor for Survivor Series is Corbin versus Angle, Team Corbin, Team Angle.
Oh,
I would assume
like that?
that the Shield are on Team Angle,
Yeah.
especially after TLC last year, and then the Dogs of War would be. So maybe they keep them together, and maybe there's a turn at Survivor Series.
Who knows?
That would actually be really good.
Very
But
intriguing
like I
stuff
said,
right now.
a lot of TV time in between that.
That's been intriguing stuff.
A lot of stuff. I love it. Next, we had a match promoting. Why can't I think of it? Mixed match challenge. Bayley with Finn Balor in her corner versus Alicia Fox with Jinder Mahal and Sunil Singh. Both of them being mixed match challenge tag teams. This was basically a carbon copy of Jinder versus Finn last week. The two people out on the outside got involved. Bayley ended up winning with a Bayley to belly. Simple as that. They're teasing tension between Alicia Fox and Sunil Singh.
I'm not interested in that at all.
Me either. It's really weird. I love Bailey and Finn together.
Yeah.
They're very entertaining.
I actually enjoy that duo.
Yeah, their entrance. They did the entrance together with
they actually have pretty good chemistry.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
They really do. I love it. Yeah. Other than that, second rope stunner by Bailey. What? I'm gonna have to go back and watch that match now. Yeah. So the next match that they have listed here is Shawn Michaels and Undertaker.
But we're missing.
But we're missing something,
We're
so
missing
we're just gonna talk about it.
We're missing most of the
I think that actually happened right before this. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I don't know when this actually happened. But anyway, we're going to talk about it. So, in-ring segment, Elias and Kevin Owens. Which, I have to add, worked really well last week. But, this week, Elias does his normal shtick. And, walk with Elias, blah, blah, blah. And then he does his normal, your local sports team sucks.
Yeah.
But he took it a step further. So Monday Night Raw was in Seattle, and he said that Bobby Lashley and John Cena teaming up together makes as much sense as Seattle having a basketball team. Which, I will have to say, is 10 years too late. But apparently Seattle's still bitter about it.
Yeah, you could tell by that, especially by the 7-minute cheering they gave.
7 minutes.
They gave Elias and Owens.
And it wasn't like...
I've never seen that before.
It was so loud that Kevin Owens had to yell into his microphone because obviously they can't go over time because of Shawn Michaels' segment next.
Right.
So, he had to keep it going. He's yelling into his mic, and at one point, the house lights came back on. And
show their displeasure.
Yeah. And you could just see they're still just, boo.
It was amazing.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
This is the kind of heel heat that I want to see more because this was awesome. And now, WWE need to, I don't know if they've just never seen this before and they didn't know how to handle it, but what they should have done, cut everything that Leo Rush was about to say when he comes out. I don't even know what he says because all I was paying attention to it in this segment was that. Because I think then they had Kevin Owens versus Bobby Lashley afterwards as a match. All they should have done is said, cut everything you're about to say, Leo. Go out there and just say something good about the Seattle Supersonics or something about a good Seattle team. Just go out there and try to get some good face reaction off of this. Yeah. But they just kept going with their normal segment. Yeah. I don't know, but I have to give props to Kevin Owens and Elias because they did play to it well. Like Elias was like, "Hey, turn up our mics. They can't hear us," and then they booed louder.
You could actually see them trying not to laugh on screen.
It was great.
It was hilarious, and like Elias's rips on your sports team in the city. It's meant to be funny, right? Mm-hmm. And 9 times out of 10, it's funny. The crowd just goes along with it. They boo for I don't know.
They boo because it's like, oh, boo, you said something bad.
Good heel heat, yeah. Then they just pay attention.
But this was legitimate hate.
The next level, yeah. This was hate. I don't. Seattle's something different, man. Wow.
Cal, say what you said earlier when you were talking about this.
I mean, they had their plethora to choose from. They could have went with the classic makes as much sense as Pete Carroll choosing to throw the ball on the 1-yard line of the Super Bowl. That would have probably got a really bad reaction. But one thing that I do like, I think Elias had said something about the Oklahoma City Thunder in there too, which caused more jeers too, which reminded me of all the way back when they're in Seattle, back when Santino Marella was a heel, and Santino was saying oh, everyone hates me because I'm not American enough, so fine, I'm gonna choose a basketball team to and he reveals his shirt to say the Thunder.
Oh my god!
And I got such good heel heat.
Oh,
and then
no.
It also just reminded me in general, I haven't heard boos that much, honestly, since when Michaels was in Montreal in 2005 when he was a heel, and he was like, "Who's your daddy, Montreal?" and just places. I mean, he has nuclear heat.
The last time I remember, and it was this loud, but it was not this long, was the night after WrestleMania when Roman beat The Undertaker. That was loud too, but it was a minute or two. This was 7 minutes.
Yeah. And the situation was just not even it was as Tyler pointed out earlier, it was the local sports team jab. That like you
Right.
think like, okay, they'll boo and then like they'll move on, but no, they're still mad. And it was I also love just the visual of Elias putting the pick in his mouth, just trying to like just keep it straight.
smiling, looking at the
Oh.
crowd.
I
And
love
just like
it.
you could tell they're like,
I feel like as
that
heels,
just
you
worked.
actually could laugh. You could just be like, haha, you guys hate us.
He
This is
actually
awesome.
was laughing a couple times.
Was it?
But Elias is just like,
I love it. I love it so much.
yeah, you can actually see like
Oh.
Elias like just sitting down with a smile on his face. He was actually laughing a couple times. And he's probably thinking that I just hit the jackpot.
Yeah. I love it
It's
so
awesome.
much.
It's awesome.
Such highlight of the show for me.
Ah,
Absolutely. As much
It's
as
a breath
this,
of fresh air.
as much as the Shield storyline is so good, this was such a highlight. For
And
me.
also too,
I
fun
want
fact about
Elias.
Seattle. Remember when they're in Seattle a couple years ago, and it was gonna be for the John Cena Randy Orton unification of the titles.
Yeah.
God, yes.
And it got hijacked for the Daniel Bryan.
Oh, that's right,
match
because he's from
from Washington, somewhere in Washington.
Aberdeen.
Yeah, and so
I
it's
remember that.
Seattle is starting to become known, I think, as a hot crowd. I mean,
One of those, big
they're
time.
beautiful.
Yeah, one of those big time wrestling stages. Like actually during that segment you're mentioning, Cal, that unification of titles, they are trying so hard to make the focus on Cena and Randy Orton, and it got so distracted, and the crowd got so into it that Mark Henry actually
My favorite,
raised
yeah.
Daniel Bryan's hand to give him recognition.
Can you imagine how much backstage heat Mark Henry had after that? It was
Can
just
you
like,
imagine how pissed off Vince McMahon was? That is not what he wanted. But oh my goodness,
oh,
I remember that as clear as day. That was awesome.
what a great night. All right, so let's get to the last segment that happened, the main event segment. I'm interested to hear about you guys' opinion on this because I enjoyed this.
Yeah,
HBK came down, cut his normal promo about Triple H Undertaker. That's not important here. What is important is that he said he mentioned Kane and he was like, hey, Kane, don't get involved this weekend. Like, you can be there, you can give your brother support, but do not get involved. I'm warning you, don't get involved in this match. That triggered Kane's pyro and music. Kane popped up in the ring out of nowhere, and then Undertaker's dong hit. He popped up out of nowhere. Basically a double team on Shawn Michaels, which I'm pretty sure is the first time Michaels has taken a bump since the Hell in a Cell match that he refereed when Daniel Bryan faced someone.
Randy Orton.
Right, it was Randy
I
Orton.
think so, yeah.
I think that was the last time he took a bump. So that's been 3-4 years now.
Actually, I think 5 years.
5 years ago?
I think.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. It was before Daniel Bryan's big moment.
Because it was.
It was before his big WrestleMania moment.
Might have been 5 years. Yeah, so that's huge. Like, the fact that HBK is taking bumps, huge. Triple H comes out. Apparently, Triple H comes out for the save. He kind of fends them off, and they get a little bit of offense in, but then the numbers game catches up, and Undertaker and Kane get the better of them, and they hit a double choke slam to end the show. This was just awesome.
Yeah.
As much as I complain about too many nostalgia acts and not paying off for younger guys, like, I never want old guy versus old guy because I want a payoff. Like, I want a younger guy to get a boost from it. This is just awesome.
These are for the all-time greats.
Yeah.
It's just taking us back into a time war, pretty much. This takes me back to my childhood, man.
And what this is specifically for, obviously, is because they want a nostalgia act for Super Showdown.
Right.
And they specifically want one because in Saudi Arabia, the prince who is basically setting this all up is a huge 90s fan.
Yeah.
So he requested DX versus the Brothers of Destruction, which is rumored probably going to happen tag team match, which I'm all for at this point.
Me too.
Like, I just can't. Obviously, I don't want Shawn Michaels to unretire because I think the coolest part is that he stayed unretired.
Yeah.
But now that if he's going to, I'm all for it. I'm all for more.
And it only makes sense that he's coming out of retirement to face the Undertaker.
Exactly. There's also a rumor Survivor Series Undertaker versus Shawn.
I did see that.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if they're gonna do that at Survivor Series or WrestleMania. I don't know.
I hope they don't at
I actually
WrestleMania.
kind of hope they don't either. I think they should do Undertaker and Cena Part 2.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, actually, yeah, I completely agree with that. But yeah, what did you guys think about? What do you think about this?
Well, now that you just mentioned that rumor, at first I was like, I really want to see that. However, it would make sense due to you could do two things with it. One, Undertaker debuted at Survivor
Right.
Series, and that could be the spot where he retires, which I think would be the perfect way to go out. Because don't want to see him lose another WrestleMania match.
Was the screw job at Survivor Series?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they could do. There's a couple different storylines there.
I don't want to do a screw job though. I
Well,
think
no.
it should just be a clean finish.
Right.
But and then also too, it makes sense like Shawn Michaels, you retired me, and now I'm gonna retire you. They could play off of, and just
I can't take that.
That would be
I can't take that.
Shawn Michaels retiring another
Feel
legend. I don't know if my heart could do
Should
that.
be
I
Right.
can't take the Undertaker retiring again. He retired once already.
Honestly, though.
but and like just yeah, I mean this isn't a nostalgia feel. Like I really don't care like about like storyline.
How do you feel about the tag team match? If
I'd
it
be
happens.
down. I'd be down to see it. I just one thing that really didn't make sense is like they had Triple H running down to save his friend because in storyline he's supposed to be healed. They're just in like an awkward place where I know Kane and Shawn Michaels are presented as the face.
Yeah.
Undertaker's just been like neutral ever
Mhm.
since. I mean, he's always kind of been like the anti-hero, but like he just seems so neutral.
Well, yeah, because he showed up late to face Cena and beat Cena, and then he faced Rusev Day, which were heel at the time.
Yeah.
It's been weird.
And then obviously Triple H is supposed to be the heel, but it's just nice, like when my dad and I sit down and like watch Raw together. Like obviously, like he grew up in like '90s, early 2000s, like watching it, and like there's not like a whole lot of guys like that he like really likes, like Undertaker. Like he'll sit down and like watch.
Yeah.
So it's just. I mean, as you guys said, it's a nice nostalgia throwback. I like just going down and be like, oh, Taker versus Kane or Taker versus Triple H. Like, yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong with it. So, I mean, whatever they do, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to add one more thing. You're mentioning that Undertaker's like neutral, Triple H should be the heel and all this. It doesn't matter.
No.
The fans have all the respect in the world for all four of these guys.
It's not like they're gonna boo one of
It's
them.
not gonna. It's not gonna matter. They're four of the all-time greats. Their legacy is already cemented. This is just all for fun, nostalgia, shock, twists, turns, surprises, everything. I'm all
Overall,
for it.
what did you guys think of the show?
Well, that Elias segment really turned it up a notch.
Yes.
But, yeah, I mean, pretty good go-home show. That's what I have to say, really.
Yeah, that's right. It's a go-home show.
Yeah.
I'd give it a B plus. I mean, it was fine. You had it was literally, but I mean, it's still just an average, or maybe above average, just because you have DX and Brothers of Destruction and the Elias moment. But
Yep.
started off really good. It starts off good, fades in the middle, and then at the end it picks up.
Yeah, it's obviously
Normal
close.
Raw.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it. I've been struggling with a 3.5 and a 4 out of 5. I'm gonna go with a 4 out of 5 because I mean technically this weekend is a glorified house show, so I don't know if they looked at it from a go home show, even though it is a go home. I don't know. Overall, it was just a fun show. It was a really fun show. 3 really great parts about this: the main event, obviously, the Elias segment, which was awesome, and the Shield storyline that they're telling,
Yep.
is just great. And everything else wasn't terrible.
No.
Like,
Yeah.
even the Bobby Roode stuff, like, they're actually starting to tell somewhat of a story with
Right.
it. I thought this was a really good episode. This gives me hope for more Raw going forward, because a lot of storyline stuff is actually starting to make sense. Yeah. So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you guys for joining me.
You bet.
Thanks for listening. 3 Count Review. If you missed some of the show, the full episode will be up on YouTube at First Round KO on YouTube. Thanks for listening, guys. See you later.